It's been criticised by the White House, which says the release of that information threatens U.S. national security. Let's get more on this. Cross to Washington, our correspondent Christine Frazan's there for us. Hi, Christine. Are we likely to hear any further comment then from the White House over this incident?
Hey there, Kevin. I am having a little bit of trouble hearing you, but I'm pretty sure you were asking me about the latest from the White House. As Laura sort of pointed out, the White House today both criticizing and downplaying the release of these documents. The National Security Advisor Jim Jones saying that anything that is published that would put the lives of Americans and our partners in danger, the White House condemns this, but he's also downplaying the significance of it. He says that these reports come from a period of time between January of 2004 and December of 2009. During this time, as you know, of course, the former President George W. Bush was in office. He says December 2009 also significant because that is the time that current President Obama essentially changed strategy in Afghanistan, and this doesn't document that. Another thing about this date is since that time, according to the White House, relations between the United States and Pakistan, particularly Pakistani intelligence, has been improved. I want to point out also some things that are being said here with the mainstream media. A lot of experts coming on to talk about this morning. Also sort of taking the angle of downplaying this. This is, of course, been expected by the United States and officials here that Wikileaks would release this, of course, after just a few months ago, we saw the release of that helicopter cockpit video that showed the shooting and in many cases the unremorseful actions by some pilots from the United States Army. Officials here have known that this was going to be released, and they said these documents, 90,000 of them, have not really told us anything that we didn't know. We knew that there were some situations in which case Pakistan was working with the Taliban, but essentially they're sort of trying to downplay it as well. I want to point out one other thing, too, Kevin, is that Senator John Kerry, this is a longtime senator from Massachusetts here in the U.S. Senate, one-time presidential candidate. He is not taking the same view as the White House. He's saying, however illegally these documents were obtained or put up, this should essentially be a wake-up call. He says this should teach us that we need to sort of up our ante, up the effort to get the policy right and also make it more urgent. One other thing here, a lot of people here in the United States, both media and officials, unnamed and named, are comparing the release of these documents to the Pentagon Papers. Now, this was, of course, the study done by the Department of Defense on the Vietnam War and relations between the United States and Vietnam back in the 60s and 70s, and it was top secret. It was not meant to be published, but once it was published there on the front page of the New York Times back in 1971, well, it painted a grim reality, both of what was going on the ground in the war, brought to light a lot of things that were not known, and brought to light a lot of things about the United States and the Vietnam relationship, and raised some questions. One of the most important: is this war winnable? That was back then, and certainly some people are saying this morning that these documents are revealing and forcing people to ask similar questions about the war with Afghanistan. Kevin?
Okay. Christine Frazan, Washington. Good to hear your thoughts. Thank you.